Good morning, students. I hope you guys are doing well today. I want to say sorry for not being able to come today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday, but I will come back on Thursday. I have a training I have to go to, like I told you last week. So, again, I apologize for not being at school, but we still have to continue to learn. So, I want to try to help you guys through the next few days through videos. The substitute will give you a note sheet. I want you to listen to the videos and copy what I write down here into your notes. Please glue your notes into your notebook so you have it there and it will not get lost. After you listen to the video and you copy the notes, can you please try the homework? If it's hard, please ask the sub to help you. Ask Mr. Jeffrey to help you. Or if Miss Blanca is there, ask Miss Blanca to help you. I want you to try your best. If you still need help, you can always message me at Schoology and I'll try to answer you. Anytime you feel like, oh, Mr. Laura is going too fast in the video, please press the pause button to stop the video and then press play to play again. Or if you forgot something, you can always rewind, go back just a little bit, and then press play to start again. Today we are going to talk about greatest common factor. We also say GCF. Today we'll talk about the first way to do this, and the first method is by listing the factors. So on the count of 3, please say this along with me. So 1, 2, 3. Greatest common factor, GCF. And we're doing this by listing the factors. So you're thinking, what is the greatest common factor? Well, what that means is it's the highest number that, let me write this down, that divide exactly into 2 or more numbers. So let me give you the steps on how to do this. We'll do a few examples on how to find the greatest common factor, or the GCF. So method 1, again, today we're going to learn how to do by listing the factors. So here are the steps to find the GCF by listing the factors. So step number 1, I want you to find all the factors. Find all the factors of each number. Step number 2, I want you to circle the common factors. Common, I'm going to draw an arrow over here. The word common, if you don't know what common means, common just means same. So circle the common or same factors. And we just learned about what factor means last week. So if you need help, remember what does factor mean? Look at your notes last week to help you figure out. Step number 3, I want you to choose the greatest of these or of the factors. So choose the greatest. And if you don't know what the word greatest means, I'm going to draw an arrow over here. Greatest means biggest. The biggest factor. So you want to look at the biggest factors. So let's look at the steps one more time. Step 1, find all the factors of each numbers. Step 2, circle the common factors. So common is same. Step 3, circle the greatest of those. So the greatest or the biggest of the factors. Alright, I'm going to slide this down. So let's see if we can do a few examples together. Alright, so let's find the greatest common factor of 45 and 81. So there's many ways of doing this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the factors, the rainbow method. If you haven't seen the rainbow method, listen carefully and see if you understand how to do it. Alright, so 45. The way the rainbow method works is you're going to find numbers that multiply to each other to get you to 45. So we know that 1 times 45 is 45, so I'm going to draw a rainbow. So that means that 1 times 45 equals 45. We know that 2 is not a factor of 45 because the last number is not even. But we do know that 3 can go into 45 because 4 plus 5 is 9, and 3 can divide it by 9. So 3 times 15 is also 45. So 3 times 15 equals 45. 4 is not a factor of 45 because the last two numbers 45, and we know that 4 cannot go into 45. But we know that 5 can go into 45 because the last number is 5, and 5 times 9 is 45. 6 is not a factor of 45 because rule 2 is not a factor. And we don't know 7 and 8, but we know 9 is a factor, and we already got 9 here, so we are done. So all the factors of 45s are 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, and 45. Alright, let's do the same thing for 81. Let's see if we can find the factor of 81. So 81, let's do the same thing. We know 1 is a factor of 81 because 1 times 81 is 81. So let's draw a rainbow. We know 2 is not a factor because the last number is not even. But 3 is a factor because we know that 8 plus 1 is 9, and 3 times 27 equals to 81. 4 is not a factor of 81 because the last two numbers 81, and we know if we divide it, we will get a remainder. 5 is the next number. It is not a factor of 81 because the last number is 1, and it's not 0 or 5. 6 is not a factor because rule 2 is not a factor. And then we'll skip 6, 7, and 8, and let's go to 9. We know 9 is a factor because 8 plus 1 is 9, and 9 can be divided by 9. So you can put down, when it's the same number, you can just put one number. You don't have to put two 9s. So the factor for 81 is 1, 3, 9, 27, and 81. So what we just did here and here is step number 1. Find all factors of each number. That's what we did. Step number 2, circle the common factor, or circle the same factor as the same number. So if we look at this, we know that we can circle 1 because they have 1 in common, and 1 is the same. We can circle 3 because 3 is the same. We can circle 9. That is the same. And that's it. So I'm going to slide down just a little bit. So from looking at this, 1 is a factor, 3 is a factor of 45 and 81, and 9 is also a factor of 45 and 81. But the Third step tells us to choose the greatest or to choose the biggest one. So the biggest one is 9, and you can write your answer as G, C, F, or greatest common factor of 45 and 81 is 9. GCF is 9. Alright, let's have you guys try number 2. Alright, let's have you guys find the factors of the greatest common factor of 30 and 42. So pause the video for a minute to try this, and then come back and check with my answer. Alright, welcome back. Let's look at the factors, find all the factors of 30. We know 1 times 30 is 30. 2 is a factor because the last number is even. 2 times 15 is 30. We know 3 is a factor because 3 plus 0 is 30, and 3 can be divided by 3. 3 times 10 is 30. 4 is not a factor because the last two numbers 30, and when you divide it by 4, you'll get a remainder. 5 is a factor because the last number is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 is also a factor because 6 and 2, rule 2 and rule 3 is a factor. So 6 times 5 is a factor, so we can stop because we came to the last ones. So the factors of 30 are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. So the same thing for 42. 42, hopefully you got 1 times 42 is 42. We know 2 is a factor because the last number is even. So 2 times 21 is 42. 3 is also a factor because we know that 4 plus 2 is 6, and 3 can be divided by 6. And 3 times 14 is 42. 4 is not a factor because the last two numbers 42, and when you divide, you will get a remainder. 5 is not a factor because the last number is not 0 or 5. But 6 is a factor because 2 and 3 are factors. So 6 times 7 is 42. So our factors of 42 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14, 21, and 42. So step 2, circle the one that are the same. So 1 is the same, 2 is the same, 3 is the same, 6 is the same, and that's it. So our greatest common factor, or GCF of 30 and 42 is 6, because that is the biggest number they have in common, or that are the same. Alright, the video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to try one more with you guys. I'll have you guys try it on your own, and then we can check together, and then you guys can try the homework. So example 3. Can I have you guys try to find the greatest common factor of 32 and let's try 48. So pause the video for a minute, try it out, and check your answer with mine. Alright, welcome back. Let's see what we got here. Alright, for 32 you should have gotten 1 times 32 is 32. 2 is a factor of 32 because the last number is even. 4 is a factor of 32 because the last number is 32. And 42 divided by 4 is 8. So the factors of 32 should have been 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. Alright, let's try 48. Alright, I kind of ran out of room here, but for 48, you should have gotten factors of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48. We have a lot. So step number 2, let's circle the one that they have in common or is the same. So 1 is in common, 2 is common, 4 is common, 8 is common, 16 is common, and look like that is it. So step number 3, your G, C, F, 4, 32, and 48. The biggest number they have in common, if you look here, is 16. 16 is the biggest number they have that is the same, is 16. Alright, so hopefully that helped you understand how to find the greatest common factor between two numbers. Try the homework out. If you have any trouble or need help, again, please ask the sub. Please ask Mr. Jeffrey, ask Miss Blanca, or write a message to me at Schoology, and I'll try to help you guys out. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next lesson, and I'll be in school back on Thursday. Thank you. Bye-bye.